All right, welcome to the Monday Night Quarterback Podcast. I'm Anthony Gianelli,
And I'm Xander Munson.
and I'm getting into difficulties over here, but that's okay. We're just going to keep going. So it's been a hot minute since we've done a podcast, but we're back finally. This past NFL week has been pretty crazy, I will say.
Yeah, this has definitely been one of the more hectic weeks in the NFL, along with the hectic week for college football. But we can get to that later. But we had a couple upsets this week. We got the Bills. They fall. Um, it's their back-to-back losses for them, and that pushes the Patriots to first place in the AFC East. So it's giving a little flashback to the 2007 season with how the order is right now. But
Yeah,
uh, so definitely a little chaos there. If I pull up
yeah, because
my
you got
little list here.
because you got the Colts leading the AFC South. Patriots now leading the
Yep.
AFC East since the Bills lost last night to the Falcons. That's surprising. That's going to
Yeah.
be a doozy out there. I have a feeling the
Yeah. No,
NFC is it NFC South? Is that right? NFC South? Yeah, they're playing really good. Like apart from the Saints, which I think they're starting to kind of come back, but like your Carolina Panthers had a huge upset win against the Cowboys. Congratulations. And then
yes, we had a very surprising win for against the Cowboys. For me personally, I was checking in on that score, and I saw in the fourth quarter you were tied at 27, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was not expecting that. Just with
I
the
had
firepower of that Cowboys offense.
yeah, I was watching Red Zone that day, and luckily I didn't have to work that day, so I was watching Red Zone almost all day, and I it kept going back to that game. I'm like, that game's close. I was not expecting that
Yeah,
already.
and shout out to Rico Dowdle, man. Back to back 200-yard games for him. He's showing. But I will mention another man who is showing out right now, also in the NFC South, Baker Mayfield. This
MVP
man
chance
is
going
putting on
on.
a show right now in the NFL.
I do you think he will
Absolutely.
end the
And
season with
the
an
surprising
MVP?
thing is that on with the way that he's now, I don't see how he doesn't win the MVP besides just the popularity contest of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. If Baker Mayfield continues to put the numbers that he's putting up with the players that he has right now, reminder, this past week he did not have his top two receivers and he didn't have his starting running back. So he was
Yeah,
rocking with, wide receiver 3, 4, and 5, and even 6, and then backup running back. And he's still showing out, still winning ball games. So if he continues on this trajectory, continues
definitely
winning
an
games for
MVP.
them, I don't see how he doesn't win MVP.
And I think that's a pretty good play of because like with his time with the Browns, which I thought he was going to be there for a while, and then they decided to cut him or trade him. I can't remember which one it was, but that was like, what are y'all doing? And then we see how it happened in Carolina, which could have been better, but then he decided to go to LA, but in the middle of the season, or he got traded. I can't fully remember. And then he actually did a pretty good job backing up Matt Stafford at the time, and got in a couple of games, and he was able to do a pretty good job, especially the one time where he got traded or released. I can't remember which one it was. I know but it was the same week he got traded that he decided that he was able to play in the game. I can't remember who it was against, but he led a comeback victory. If I remember right, it might have been the Raiders, but I could be wrong. But he led a
Yes.
comeback victory. Was it the Raiders? I'm thinking.
Yes. Yep.
I'm surprised I remember that. And yeah, no, he led a comeback victory like all from like one side of the field to the other side, and you could and then ever since that, like after the season ended there, he then with the Tampa Bay after Tom Brady retired, so which I thought was a perfect choice for the Tampa Bay, especially during the time. And then we see how he handled that by like because like his first season, which I think was last year actually. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year or the year before. It was either last year or the year before. But no, his first year led him to the playoffs. And then last year led them to the playoffs, I believe. Or I could be wrong on that, but it's a little mixed around
Yeah,
for me,
because
I'll be honest.
I don't remember if it was last year or the previous year. I think it was the
Yeah.
previous year where they beat the Eagles with Jason Kelsey.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Kelsey ended up retiring. But no, I was gonna mention the exact same thing that you did, is the fact that Baker was almost out of the league. He looked like the gonna be guy, the franchise quarterback for the Browns. He has this one good season, and then it kind of just all falls down from there. Just the
Yeah.
Browns being the Browns, basically. And they ended up trading him. Um,
Okay, so they did
I'm kind
trade.
of in the same boat with you. I can't remember if they cut him or traded
I
him. I'm
know it
pretty
was
sure
like
they traded him.
that's what I was thinking too, but I couldn't remember
Yeah,
too. And, like all
but
the time,
he
like
ends up going.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he got traded to the Panthers.
I think so.
I'm 80% confidence. But he comes to the Panthers, where we have, obviously the Panthers with our QB woes since Cam Newton left. You got Sam Darnold, got Baker Mayfield, all these different quarterbacks coming in. But he comes, and for me as a Panthers fan, I was intrigued by this just because with our QB luck since Cam Newton, I wasn't really sure how well he was going to pan out. Um, doesn't end up working. So we ended up trading him to the Rams, and that was kind of an area where, for me, from a fan aspect, I was like, is this kind of one of those moves where he's gonna go there, be the backup role, and kind of just watch his career kind of fade away, to start hopping to these different teams, and then he comes in as, the starting quarterback against the Raiders in, backup duties, and he ends up balling out, ends up leading a 90-yard plus game-winning drive that basically saved his career, and becomes a free agent, goes to Tampa Bay, and now his career is revitalized and looks like an MVP caliber player right now.
Yeah, thank you. You did a lot better than I did describing his career. Fantastic job there. So, but no, yeah,
Thank you.
like you were saying, yeah, no problem. Like I was about to say, like my mind has been blurred the last couple of years, like seasons for some reason. I don't know why. Like it's hard to remember what happened in like with how crazy the last couple of seasons have
Yeah,
been.
isn't that like middle area?
Yeah,
But
yeah. I just
I will say who has not looked like an MVP is the Jets and Justin Fields.
-10 passing yards. How? I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. I
I
don't
was
think I've ever have.
Yeah. Thursday night, Thursday morning,
Oh,
or no, not
Sunday
Thursday,
morning.
but
Sunday morning.
morning football in Sunday morning football in London, and you've got the Broncos playing trying to expand the NFL into, it's in the international space. And you come out with a 13-11 ball game. And Anthony, you played high school football.
Yep.
You had more passing yards than Justin Fields did. He had net
Apparently,
-10 passing yards.
apparently, and I played on defense.
But yeah, but it's just I've seen memes where it's like this was worse for England than the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, you
Just
know what?
with
Yeah.
the slugfest that we saw that day. But I will give props to the
Oh,
defenses. They very That was about the only highlight that we saw that day.
yeah.
But there were more highlights in the other upset that we saw, which was the Giants beating the Eagles off
Giants
the
are back.
amazing play.
Apparently,
uh, It's the exciting whites. You've got Jackson Dart, you've got Cam Scatterbu, the amazing rookies. Jackson Dart coming from Ole Miss. You got Cam Scatterbu, played at
from
Sacramento
Arizona
State.
State. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sacramento State, and
so
then Arizona State. Okay.
yep. A lot of people forget they came from Sacramento State, transfers to Arizona State, has that fantastic game against Texas in the playoffs, where
I watched. I
put
watched that
he,
game. He
he
was
puts Arizona
fantastic.
State on his back. They end up losing that game to a terrible no call, but that's another story. But you've got Jackson Dart going into enemy territory, throwing for almost 200 yards and a touchdown.
It
But
was
the
at
star of
home
the
right
sh
away.
Oh, is that home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
It
you've
was
got
at their
Jackson Dart.
home.
Yeah. But you've got Jackson Dart throwing for nearly 200 yards. You've got the star of the show, rookie Cam Scatterbu, Mr. Young CTE himself, over 200 or over 100 total yards and 3 touchdowns. This man
Do
is
you?
making a name for himself already in the league.
I want to ask you another question here, and it's basically how we've seen the last couple of weeks. Who do you think is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year? I think, well, because like in the running we have Jackson Dart, of course. My mind is kind of going with Travis Hunter as well because I mean we all saw like obviously this week it was like a little more quiet, but last week I saw a fantastic grab against the Chiefs. I'm like a rookie made that catch off it by the way, so it's just like dang okay. Which Travis Hunter he's been doing pretty good wide receiver wise, like, which he's taking more snaps on the receiver end and like the defensive snaps as well, but I could see him in the running, but like Cam Scotabo, he could definitely be in the running as well. But my question is, like, do you know anybody else who would be in that lineup as well?
For me, I would say I don't know how much I feel about Travis Hunter so far. He's
Good.
shown sparks, but just not a lot for me enough to put him in the race. For me,
Okay.
my top three, I have obviously Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, just because of how they've been playing lately. My the third guy that I will put up there is Emeka Ibuka. He has shown himself to
Oh,
be
yeah.
yeah,
I completely
he has shown
forgot.
himself to be a very quality starter. Obviously he got hurt. Uh, he's been out this past week. I don't know how long that injury is for, but when he's been on the field, he's been producing, and
Yep.
he's put himself
Making
in
really
this
good
lineup.
catches too, mind you.
Yeah,
So,
he's
which
he's
thank you for
he's
that. I
putting
almost
up them
forgot about that.
yards.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would say those three are definitely in my top three right now.
Yeah. So let's
I
see.
will say
Oh,
before I I will say before we head on to the other news, I did want to mention the interesting game, Chiefs beating the Lions, because of the post-game brawl that ensued thereafter. Um, the NFL did release a statement saying that they did suspend Brian Branch for a game
I
at least.
which I think was a good idea to do that, and I agree with that because like yes, I understand the way that they lost and with like the controversy around the refs, which I don't know fully if refs like it, a whole controversy thing, if you know what I mean. But like Branch though, he
Yeah.
could have done better. Like, and that's the whole thing about this sport is having the mentality of like not
Yes.
starting things or anything like that. We've seen it happen many, many times in this sport, which it's a physical sport. It's
Yes.
understandable to an extent.
I know that Juju Smith-Schuster was, egging him on, like to close the game out, but at the same time, you can't lose your cool like that and
No,
start fighting. You just
no,
gotta. Yes, you can. I'm all for talking, but when it gets to physical fighting, that's something that you just don't want to see.
yeah, you even had the Lions coach come out and pretty much say like, "Look, I love him, but even I think that was wrong, and he shouldn't have done that." So that's kind of like why I'm like, it's
Yeah,
understandable, like why he's getting suspension, and I think Branch understands now. Well, hopefully he does understand that this shouldn't happen that way, and he'll be better. So yeah,
yeah.
but
But along
um,
with that loss, if I've seen I've seen a lot of people say the same thing, but this year I feel like there's not really that number one team. I mean, you've got multiple teams that have, one or two losses. You got the Bucks up there, 5-1. You got the Eagles, they've lost. The Bills,
4-2,
obviously, they've lost back-to-back games now.
four and
Um,
two.
yep. It just doesn't feel like there's that clear-cut number one team just yet.
No, but I think we'll find out later on this season because you have the Colts are playing very well. Like now, it was a close game against Arizona with Jacoby Brissett obviously getting the starting role instead of Kyler Murray. But the Colts still won it out in the end, and I think that's more important: is can you hang on and can you win it in the end? And that's what they did. And the Colts look to be a good favorite of the AFC South, coming from me, obviously. And it's like Like, yeah, the Buccaneers are playing really good. They're only lost to the Eagles, but look how they're playing right now. Seahawks are playing fantastic as well. 49ers, even though they have been fully injury, like, yeah, they're still kind of up there. Like, yes, they lost to the Buccaneers, but they're still kind of up there, though. Like, there's, like, looking like a dark horse playoff team from if they keep it up, like, at least, like, if they can get their players healthy as well. Rams obviously look like to be a playoff contention as long as they keep it in the same way. We'll have to see how the London game goes. And then, yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, besides the chaos that we just had in the NFL, college football also has its very own chaos.
Oh, yeah. Every week is always chaos. Let's we just expect that at this point.
Yeah. But I'll start this off by saying I did not see Texas beating Oklahoma this week, let alone by the way that they did.
I don't know how they did it, but they did it. That's just how rivalry goes, I guess. It's like the same thing. Like you can like lose that much, like or win that much, but when it is rivalry or whatever it is, it changes all of a sudden. Like we've seen it happen so many times in college football, NFL as well, whatever you call it. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, Red River rivalry, that's always a tongue twister. But yeah, Heisman contender John Mateer coming off of this thumb injury that he miraculously got, you know, he had surgery and then had, basically a week to get back into, the football shape. But he comes back and he throws three interceptions.
I think he should have waited. I think he came back too fast, in my opinion, because like he wanted to come back obviously and try to see what he can pull out for his guys, and then thrown for three interceptions. Like, yeah, the Texas defense, it's okay here and there, but three interceptions though, it's like, are you serious, man? Like, you should have waited. You should
Yeah.
have just let your backup take care of
And
it.
I watched the highlights of that game. There was one interception where it was off the wide receiver's hands, so I will give him some leeway on that. But
Yeah,
the other two interceptions that he threw, one of them was at the end of the half, he was chucking it up, and it was his wide receiver was about 10 yards away from where the ball was thrown to the defender.
yeah.
And then the other one was just a clear miss throw. So I do agree with you on that, where they feel like they just rushed his injury. Um, I don't know how well Michael Hawkins could have done against Texas, but obviously they just
Give him
wanted
a
to get
chance,
Mateer. Yeah, they just wanted to get him back as fast as possible, and they ended up
and
losing
this
the
is what
game.
happens. Not only
But
that, but John Mateer is now Heisman favorite is kind of dropped ever since.
oh yes, he has fallen way off. But I will give credit to Arch Manning though. He hasn't played well the last couple of weeks. He's been getting flamed for that, but I will say he did enough to win this game. He had 166 yards, one touchdown, and a very good completion percentage. It was nearly 78%. But then also you've got a good run game. You had Contravian Wisner carry the rock 22 times, nearly 100 yards. So they didn't necessarily need Arch Manning to play like, that preseason Heisman contender that the national media was saying that he was. He had a very solid running back that could tote the rock for him. And this, after beating Oklahoma, Texas does re-enter the top 25 after being unranked.
Yep.
They re-enter at number 21 in the polls, and Oklahoma now drops down to number 14. And I will say the other stunner, um, along with multiple stunning things that happened, Indiana stunning Oregon on the road.
Indiana, man, like I could see them definitely making into the playoffs with how they're playing. Because like obviously we saw a very good Indiana team last year, and then unfortunately losing big to Notre Dame or Notre Dame. Sorry if I said that wrong. At their place back in the playoffs last year. So this is obviously a very good team here. Obviously different quarterback than last year, I believe. Right? Yeah. And then
Yes.
just still seeing how well they're playing with Mendoza. I think I said his name correctly, Mendoza, and all like they're what's his name, coach? But like he's just Indiana's playing really good, and I can obviously expect them to run deep in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Coach Signetti, he's got this Indiana team on a roll. You've got last year he had his Ohio transfer. Um, I can't remember his name, but he had him, playing ball. And now this year he brings in a transfer quarterback from Cal, Fernando Mendoza, and he's playing like a Heisman contender right now.
And we saw
He
how
got
Fernando Mendoza played last year. Sorry if I interrupted you, but we saw how Mendoza played with California last year, and he still played decent though. Like obviously California wasn't a top team last year, but Mendoza was playing really well, and of course transferred to Indiana, and we saw like how well he's playing now.
yeah. But I will say for Indiana, their running back kind of stole the show this game. He had
Oh,
70
definitely.
yards, 2 touchdowns. So he was toting the rock for them. I will say for Oregon, Dante Moore, he was atop of that Heisman race coming into this game. He throws for 186 yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 crucial picks near the end of that game.
Which
And
I mean, yeah. uh,
and this game, uh, Indiana snaps 2 Oregon streaks. They first ended Oregon's 18-game home winning streak, and they also broke their 23-game win streak in the regular season. So Coach Sig has this team playing ball, and they're now the third best ranked team in the nation, just behind number one Ohio State and number two Miami.
I think
And
that's going to be good.
Oregon didn't fall too far. They're still in the top 10. They're at number 8. And go ahead.
Nice. Okay, what I was about to say was I think we can expect Ohio State and Indiana to have a Big Ten championship game at this point, unless something changes drastically, which could still happen. I think we can expect Ohio State and Indiana to be a Big Ten championship.
I could see that as well.
Yep.
But now to the part where we both love to talk about Nebraska with another win. We're now 5-1 on the season. We
One win
even Big
closer
Ten
to bowl
play.
eligibility.
Yep. We even Big Ten play at 1-1. Huge road win against a very solid Maryland team. I will say this was a game of runs and a game of a lot of emotions. You've got Nebraska, they go down there, score the first 10. And then Maryland, they come and score the next 10 or the next 14. Um, but wait, Nebraska is not done. They score the next 14. But Maryland's not done. They score the next 17. So this game was just back and forth,
In fourth.
pretty high scoring, but Nebraska ices the game at the very end. Raiola with the go-ahead touchdown near the goal line to Dane Key with just over a minute left. This game wasn't the best game for Raiola.
No,
He
three
had
picks if
260
I.
yards. Yeah, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, one of them being a pick six. But the man of the hour, E-Money, Emmett Johnson, 176 yards on the ground, another 20 through the air, almost 200 total yards. He played like a man on fire, and he has
God,
been for the past 2 weeks.
God, what a workhorse! Obviously, my question here is, and I think we're stretching it a bit as Husker fans. Do you think we're a dark horse playoff team?
I wouldn't be shy to say it. It's definitely being a dark horse. It's not out of the world to say it right now. I want to see how we play against Minnesota. Being a ranked team now in the top 25, number 25. Um, but these next couple of games will definitely show if we could compete for the playoff. Because
No,
we've
exactly.
got Minnesota, we've got a very good USC team, we've got Penn State, obviously Iowa. So we've
Don't
got
forget we have
an inch.
UCLA, and we all know how they're playing right now. So we got to watch out for
Yep.
UCLA. Penn State. Now with how their season went, and obviously with the news of James Franklin being fired now, and their starting quarterback Drew Aller out for the rest of the season, do you think we have a better chance of winning against them now in their home place?
I don't know.
That's fair.
It'll be
That's
telling
fair.
to it'll be telling to see how Ethan Grunkmeyer or whoever Penn State decides to start, how he adjusts to the game. Um, Obviously Penn State embarrassing loss at UCLA. Their own, UCLA's 0-4 going into that game. They upset them at home. Um, and then you come back home, two straight losses. You're not ranked anymore. Looking for finally that bounce back game, and you lose at home to another not good Big Ten team in Northwestern,
Oh,
22-21.
believe it or not, I saw a
So,
stat where that was his first game as a head coach losing to West Northwestern. So it's circle back for him, I guess.
yeah, but I don't know how they'll respond to this. Um, Obviously, you got a new starting quarterback. That defense is I still think that's good. You've got a very good line core. Um, but I know I'm not too worried about the defense. It's just that offense, especially with Drew Alder being out for the season, how
Yeah.
they respond to that with the new quarterback, how they adjust to, the interim head coach, um, and just them trying to get through this season, trying to get through on a positive note while they go on a head coach hunt, which the news broke, or the rumors have started that Matt Rule is a candidate for that. Um, I
I
have
don't know if he
my
will leave or
yeah,
not.
my take on it is at first, obviously it was shock and awe, being like, no, why would Matt Rule leave Nebraska to go to Penn State? It would make sense if he did leave. He has the connection there. He's a former Penn State player. He uh Penn State's current AD was the AD when they were both at Temple. So
Yeah.
they've got that connection. But at the same time, Matt Rule has said he loves it here in Lincoln. He loves the team that he's building. Um, his wife owns a business in Lincoln.
Did not know that.
He loves the city, loves the team. Um, he's got an 8-year contract. I just don't think it would make sense for him to leave for Penn State when he's already building a powerhouse of his own here at Nebraska.
Yeah, we'll have to see after the season ends and how the season finishes out. I think he will stay as long as he wants. We'll have to see though. I do have 3 minutes left on here for my things. We should probably start ending this now. What else did you want to talk about before we get off air?
I do want to mention MLB really quick. Um,
Do it.
the Mariners on top of the Blue Jays right now, 2-0 on the series. This is the first ALCS appearance for the Mariners since 2001 when Ichiro Suzuki was on the team. And then you've also got the Brewers taking on the Dodgers. The Dodgers beating the Phillies in dramatic fashion. Um, the Phillies with the crushing loss there as it's a ground ball to the pitcher. Bases are loaded. He has any option he wants, and he throws it over the catcher's head. Brutal way to lose there for the Mariners. They're up 2-0 on the Blue Jays and got to the ALCS in a game of the year so far in the MLB. 15 innings, 3-2. I mean, baseball at its finest. Um, but I want to give my score prediction for Minnesota before we head out of here. I think it'll
Yep.
be a relatively low scoring game on the road, back-to-back road games for Nebraska. They're in their icy white uniforms, which have been sort of cursed the last couple of years.
I
Um,
don't think
so
so.
I'm
We'll have to see. We'll have to
Yeah, I
see.
think this team is breaking a lot of curses, but I'm gonna go with a low scoring, well, relatively 21-10 victory for Nebraska.
I can see that. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Anthony Gianelli.
And I'm Xander Munson.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to check out the live show over on KPAO. We'll see you next time. Good night.